My name is Carina Gardner, and I'm what you would call a practical designer. If you're ready to create a life that you love, become an incredible force for good, and generate income while pursuing your dreams, this is the podcast for you. Welcome to Make and Design. Hi designers, today I want to talk about the artist versus marketer inside you. This is something I touch on in the Make Art That Sells book, but the more I dig into it, the more I realize that people really want to be the artist. They want to be the one who creates and makes the product, right? And it's much harder for us to embrace that inner marketer. So I thought I would talk about it in terms of money today, which you guys know, I think talking about money is an important thing. I actually, especially in business, feel like it's something that we undervalue and we don't do, especially as creatives and artists and designers, because we're afraid that we're going to hurt someone's feelings and that we're not going to say the right thing, or, that it's almost sinful or evil to want to make money. When in fact, it's a major part of how we can really push forward and make this a full-time career or a side hustle, whatever it is that you desire to do with yourself as a creative. So let's first talk about this whole idea of the artist. So I heard someone talk about how there are actually 3 different types of people who start businesses, and you're here because you want to start a business, right? So you're wanting to actually build something for yourself. So if you're starting a business, they say that these 3 different types of people are the kinds of people who are entrepreneurs. One of them is, he calls the artist. So this is product-based, and this is what most of us are. It's definitely what I am. I like building a product. I like making an SVG file. I like making a fabric line. I like making a gingerbread house. Like, those are all products. And so because we are designers, we're used to making the product. That makes us the artist in that entrepreneurial journey. He also says, and I can't remember what the third one is, that the other person that tends to be an entrepreneur is someone who is a marketer. So they're not necessarily as good at making the product, but they are really, really good at marketing a product. So sometimes I see this. There are people who market stuff and they're great at marketing, and the product is just like sort of so-so, but they're really good at pushing the product, saying, what's going to make it a good product and showcasing it. And sometimes it's just not the best product, but it's being marketed very, very well. So I can't remember what the third one is. I want to say it's like financial, like someone who's an entrepreneur who's like good at the financial piece. Sorry, that was my computer. They're really good at the financial piece, and because of that, they are really good at kind of figuring out and distributing the money. So most of us, I don't worry about the financial piece, but it's important. But like when we go into building a business, most of us as creatives, we start as artists, people who want to create product. And so we find ourselves fighting the marketer in us, which is basically the person who just wants to make sure that we're making money, right? I think that internally, if we're making the art and we're making money from the art, it means that we can make more art. And that's a really important thing. But because our artist is saying, make more product, make more product, make more product, which is the fun part for us, we don't pay attention to the marketer who says, hey, guess what? You're making all this art and it's amazing, but we need to make some money off of this art. And so what do we need to do as the inner marketer kind of comes out and tells us what to do? Well, of course, you guys know this is something that we talk about in Design Bootcamp. It is something we heavily discuss. It's part of our, really workarounds in terms of the program in Design Suite. It's the main thing we're doing because at the end of the day, all of you are amazing artists. There are things that we can do to up-level your skills, to make you really great at making product. I don't worry about that as much. It's very rare that I have to worry about the artist in you. I feel like I spend a lot of time worrying about the marketing when it comes to my designers. I want to make sure that they are marketing well. And I just actually redid the Business for Designers class. So those of you in Breakthrough, if you have not started to take that yet, 100%, it is for you. It is got a syllabus now. It is 15 weeks. It is semester long. It is a lecture series. There are assignments, there are quizzes, and it's really meant to help you on your path. We start all the way at the beginning by writing a business plan, which sounds awfully scary to a lot of designers, but we know that if you just write down, and I go through it so I make it really simple and really easy. If you write down the things that you're doing, it makes a huge difference so that you can become a marketer, right? And then I kind of outline in that class the 2 things I think you really need in marketing, and it's actually not a lot. So if you've taken that class or you are in the middle of that class right now, I hope you're checking out the marketing week that we talk about there, okay? So in terms of money, in terms of making money as a marketer, there are really some very important, very simple things that we have to do as designers. And a lot of it is actually related to distribution. So if you have been to Design Bootcamp, I talk about the signature framework. And one of the pieces of that is distribution. So if we can find online platforms that can do the marketing for us, then our lives are made a lot simpler, a lot easier. Because the truth is, you don't have to market your stuff all the time if you have other people marketing your stuff for you, right? And there are a lot of ways of going around this, but like the really simplest, truest strategy for a designer is doing it via your actual platform. So that means if you are working, especially I would say with specialty platforms, like for example, there are several shops out there that just do SVGs. They're locally owned. That means that there's like a single shop owner. It's not owned by like a big corporation. They're doing everything they can to help market your stuff. There are lots of these websites out there. And these people are asking you to make them freebies. They're asking you to, tell everybody you're at that shop, right? That's the marketing that you're going to do. And then they in turn are sending out email blasts and gathering their audience and trying to become bigger so that they can also market your stuff, right? So there's some collaborative ways that we can create marketing for ourselves. And that's just one of a gazillion and one strategies that you can have. Now, one of the coolest things that we, as a company, as a design educational resource are trying to do to help our designers market themselves. And so one of the things we're doing, you're going to see in August, is we are doing a conference just for our Design Suite members. So that means anybody can join, but Design Suite members will be all the speakers. And so anytime you can find a resource that's going to help you. And one of the things we wanted to do in our program is help our designers learn how to market themselves. And this is one of the ways that we're doing it. It will really help you as you are a designer. So if you have a second to join, I believe at this point, when this comes out, that you can already sign up to come to the Maker Conference. It's the Design Suite Maker Conference. It's www.designsuitecourses.com/event. And I think it's going to be really great for you guys to see what designers are doing now, how they're crafting, and how they're selling their supplies. So lots of great ways for us to market. We just usually don't want to spend the time doing so. And I want to encourage you, if you are a designer and you are trying to get out there, if you are making just a whole bunch of products, but you're not actually doing any marketing, you are missing the whole point of being an entrepreneur. And you might be like, well, I don't think I'm an entrepreneur. If you own your own business and you are a designer, you are in fact an entrepreneur. And so that means you have to allocate some amount of time and resources to actually doing the marketing. All right, I hope that helped. I hope I get to see lots of you at the Design Suite Maker Conference. It's going to be incredible. And I'm so excited for those of you who are really in that battle right now of our inner artist versus inner marketer. If you can kind of come to terms with putting time on your calendar to become a marketing maven, you are going to go so far, because that's what most designers are not doing. They are not going out of their way to become the marketer that they need to be. All right, guys, I'll see you soon. Did you know you have access to more free design content, die cut files, and sewing patterns? Join our exclusive VIP group for free by going to designsuitecourses.com/free.